Hi, it's me, Karen, and I've come to do a tutorial. I've been requested to do a tutorial on the wreath that I have done. Uh, I am not going to do the exact same one, but I'm going to do one in Halloween colors. So this is what we start with. I got this at Joann's. It's one of their smaller wreaths. It's styrofoam, and this is what we're going to be using as our base. What I've done is I already printed out some paper. So I'm going to use the orange and purple out of Louisa's, I believe this was her autumn harvest kit. And I liked this orange and this purple, and then I'm going to also use some black. So it's going to be kind of a Halloween themed wreath that I'm going to do. And so I'll show you how we get started. And if you notice that I went ahead and I printed on both sides. So I'm going to use this cutter, and we're just going to like trim down all the white off of it because I only want the orange and the purple to show. And because I didn't want any white showing on this one, the one I did before, I left the white on the back of the paper because it was more of a shabby chic. And this one is going to not show any white, even though the styrofoam is, but we're going to cover it up with all of these. So now we have, this is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and we are going to cut it in 1/2-inch strips all the way across. Now I'm going to use it on the short, not the long, because I like my curls a little different than the other one, the other tutorial. This is the same size as the one that I used before, and we just cut. It doesn't have to be perfect, so you don't have to, make sure everything is absolutely online, and you just sit here and do this. So pretend I did that on that, because I'll do that off camera and you don't have to sit and watch. The next step to do this is you take one of your little strips, and you can use a bone folder, you can use a pair of scissors, you can use a ruler, you can use anything that has a flat kind of hard surface edge. You can use the side of your desk if you want. You just take it from the middle, your thumb, like curling ribbon for Christmas presents. You'll notice it doesn't curl because I'm using 110 cardstock when I print out Louisa's kits because I like it on sturdy paper. It doesn't curl up terribly much. That's what you're going to get. You can get it tighter just by holding the center and pulling your little tail, and you'll get a little tighter curlicue. You want to make them go out away from each other. You don't want them curling on the same side, because in the center here you're going to be putting a pin, and it just helps fill up space if you have them kind of going one side to the other. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and cut up the rest of the paper, and I'll curl them because that is the longest part. You don't want to watch that either. And I will be back, and then I'll show you how I stick it together. Okay, as you can see, I have curled all the black ones, the purple ones, and the orange ones. And what I'm going to do is take a couple of them and I'm going to pin them. Now, this is a big hint. Don't use the pins that just have the flat heads, because after about halfway around, your fingers are going to kill you. So I use the ones with the big balls on them. I do sewing, so I have a lot of these. I also use the shorter ones. They do sell ones that are longer, but they tend to, when you're poking it into the styrofoam, you could, if you go sideways, poke them out the side, and you're going to be stabbing yourself. These have a less likelihood to do that because they're short. So to begin with, you just take one of these, and you're just going to kind of stab it through the middle. Take another color and kind of stab it, kind of giving it like a cross shape. You can do 3 colors at a time. You can do, it all depends on what you're after for a look. So what I did on the other wreath was I kind of did some of them that were just pinks and some of them that were just blues and some with the blue and then the pink. You know, it just kind of whatever floats your boat. So that's it. And you're not going to see the little pin in here, so it doesn't matter what color. Just make them all kind of kitty-wampus and stab it through. That's your first piece. Doesn't look like much, but you're going to get a real good pattern going. Like I said, you could do them just purple. It gets messy when you're doing it. You don't have to put an orange one on all the time. You just kind of do what you want. Put this one kind of next to it and they get kind of fluffy. And then you're just going to keep kind of going around it and kind of up close to it. Some of these, when I was curling them, only ended up being a half a curl, but you can still use those. It's just going to come out half the side and put it so it's down towards the bottom. And I'll stick another orange one on this one, just leaving the black out, and then I'll just pin it on that side. And what we're going to do is we're just going to keep doing that all the way around on both sides. We are going to leave a space open down here because I have to attach a bow, and this does get quite full and fluffy. So instead of having you sit here and watch me do all this, I'll be back in a sec. Okay, this is what I'm doing to make these embellishments. So this is what it looks like. And the top piece here is from this plate I got at Joann's, and they're 70% off of all their Halloween stuff. The die in the background is this one, and it's from Tim Holtz, and it makes the little perforations for the little pleated, I don't know what you call these little flower pieces. I think it kind of makes a cool little embellishment to go on the wreath. So all I do is take the paper plate because it has a rim like that. So I'll take it and just cut so I have a flat surface. Get rid of this piece and then take my punch for the small ones, because I'm going to do a little small ones and because they come in two different sizes, a bigger one and a small one. And this is for the small one. I am using this punch, and it's a tiny one. I think this is a 1/2 inch. I'm just going to take it on here, and I think I want that witch, and I need to cut just a bit more off to get to her. So then I just stick it on. I don't know if you see the witch through there. And then just punch it out. Pull that off. Got her. Take my distress ink here, and I just take it and run it around the outside just to get that white edge. Usually I will ink everything and give it kind of that vintage look, but because this is a paper plate, it has a wax coating on it, and my distress inks just beat up like, you know, water. So what I've done is gone ahead and taken the small one here, and it has the little tiny perforations in it, if you can see that. And then you just do your accordion folding like you used to do in elementary school when you made fans. And you just keep folding and folding and folding. And when you get to the end, you're just going to glue the two ends together. And that's what this looks like when you've done that. I just used my hot glue gun and glued it together. And then what you do is you kind of set it on. Okay, you got to figure it out. There's a round end and a flat end. Round end's going to go out. So you set it on the table, and then you kind of work it around until you get a little round circle down here. Now, the thing with these is they don't want to stay that way. I'll let you know that. So that's a little bit of a problem. What I do is I kind of squish it into the flower form, and without burning my fingers too much, I run a hot glue bead across there. Take my little button that I made, lay it right on top, and then just kind of smush it all in, hoping I get it even around the edges. Kind of hold it a little bit till it cools, and then you have your cute little piece of embellishment. So I'm going to go ahead and make a couple more of these because I want to put a few on the wreath, and I'll be back. Okay, now I've made all my little embellishment pieces, and some of the glue sticks on and this. So what I'm going to do is make them glittery because I think that'll look nice with the Halloween. So I just made a little puddle of glue here and a little puddle of glitter. What I've used is this kind of metallic-y, it's kind of silver black color, and this one which is a black brown, and I've kind of mixed them together here. And all I do is take my finger in this puddle and kind of just rub it randomly and give it a little dot. Then I just turn the darn thing upside down and rub it around in the glitter. Give it a pat, shake it off, and anything I don't like I just wipe away. And then, excuse me, I have a little glittery piece. And if it's got too much on it, I'll just move it off. But I think that'll look really cute. What I also picked up when I was at Joann's is this nice key, and I'm going to use that on the bow or hanging down from the wreath. And I thought with all the glitter that's on this, the embellishments probably needed to stand out a little more than they were doing without the glitter. So I'm going to finish that up. Okay, so this is what we have now. This is it all done except for this corner here where I'm going to put a bow. And if you notice, the back is not covered, but some of the inside is. That little piece doesn't belong there. And the back isn't covered because it gets really fluffy and this has to go against the wall. So that's why I left that the way it is. You can actually punch this one here. So that is all I did, was put them together and then put them in with pins. Now I bought this bow at Joann's, and it has a lot of extra tail on it, but I am just going to use the tie that was on it, and I'm going to attach it to the bow here, the wreath here, and just tighten it down on the back. The bow that I did on the Christmas wreath, I just did with some ribbon that I had left over from my Christmas wrap from last year. But I don't have any Halloween ribbon, so I bought this one. Okay, so far that's what we've got. And I'm not crazy about all the length on this, so I am going to cut it with some scissors. It is a wire edge ribbon, so you kind of have to be careful with what scissors you're using to cut this stuff with. But there we have our little tails coming down. Flip up the bow a little bit, and now what I'm going to go ahead and do is use the embellishments that I had made. So these are the little guys. They dried pretty nice. They look kind of cool. So I'm going to be kind of placing them here and there. I also, these are the silver balls that I used on the Christmas wreath, but I used the same glitter I used on the little embellishments I made, and I covered the silver with the brown and the black on that. I'm going to put those through there. I also, in Louise's kit, got some of these black rosettes. I'm going to use the two that I got in here. I also sprayed these with homemade spray. This is a tiny bit of the Phantom Fuchsia from Lindy's Stamp Gang, and then there's a little bit of coffee in it, and also some black metallic paint that I mixed up, and I sprayed it, and then before it dried I added the same glitter. I actually just ran these upside down on them while I was cleaning my mat off. So they've got this nice glitter going on. So I'm going to put those in here somewhere. So that is the part of the embellishment. I'm just going to kind of stick them here and there. I'm not sure if you wanted to watch me do this part. I get out my hot glue gun and I just start, and it's the same when I do a card. I just kind of put it on there. I look at it and I go, well, maybe this would look kind of cute here, kind of cute there, wherever I decide to stick them. Then I'll take them out and I'll glue them down. I'm also going to take some of this ribbon, probably the pieces I cut out, and kind of weave them in on the sides here because I kind of think it's cool. And because it's wire, you can squish it up and put it in and just glue it down on both sides. So I'll probably put some of that in there. And I've got to place this key someplace. And I was thinking right about there. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and start embellishing this little thing, but I have to turn on my glue gun and I have to check my dinner. So I will be right back. Okay, I'm going to move you up just a little bit, see if I can't get a little bit more of this in frame while I do this. So what I did is I ran the ribbon through. I just glued it on the back. And then I kind of pulled some of the little curls up and around it so it doesn't look like it's just laying on top. And kind of do that with the little bow over here too. It's gonna, the bow's gonna move a lot, so I'm not gonna worry about it too much. And then we're going to try to figure out where I want to put these. I kind of thought that would look good there, but I'm not sure because I like the key. And since I only have 2 of these, I'm going to have to kind of put them someplace where they look nice. So I'm thinking something, yeah, and then you're not going to see this whole thing. I just can't get it in right. And then I was going to add a couple of these in here. And I was going to add a little bit of greenery. So I have these leaves that I used on the pumpkin. Since it's going to be in the same room, I thought that might look nice. So I'm just going to rest them in there. And then I have to get these little guys on there too. So I'm thinking I kind of like that look. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that little guy there. You're going to see a lot of these stinking little spider webs, which look great on Halloween projects, just not on this one. So basically with this, because it's a paper wreath and it has a lot of movement on it, this is how I go ahead and glue it. I just put a little glue down. You just kind of smush it onto the paper. Try not to get it on your hands. Got to be a little careful because the paper does curl, and if you stick your hands back there, you could get burnt by the glue. I have asbestos fingers. It's not because I use a lot of glue gun and get myself burnt a lot. I make crumb kaka, and it's a Norwegian cookie. And you use an iron, a real hot iron, and then you flip it, and then while the cookie is still real wafer thin and hot, you have to roll it. And I've done that a lot. That's one of the cookies my kids really love. And my grandmother, before she, we used to make it when I was a kid, and then she passed away, and I just carry the tradition on with my kids. So, asbestos fingers from that. So I am going to do kind of that look around the rest of this, and I'm going to stick, I really like this key here, and then I don't have anything that really screams, you know, like a banner that says Happy Halloween or anything, but I kind of think this gives a look to it. And what I'll do is I will take a picture at the end and show you exactly what it looks like when I'm all done. That way you don't have to sit here and watch me burn my fingers. Okay, well, thanks for watching, guys, and the still shots will be at the end of this.